And spoke for the first time yesterday and to a live group, I think almost 23 months. So kind of got my feet wet a little bit.
Bob and Tuck. Got the mic to start off. So
Yeah.
Bob.
Okay.
Yeah, first day of practice tomorrow. What are you looking for out of that? What are the
Well, we're gonna, tomorrow our first day will be. A lot of times we scrimmage 3 days in a row. Last year we had cold weather on the first Friday. Tomorrow the weather's going to just be okay, so we pushed it back. Our scrimmage to Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Tomorrow will be just a team practice where we work on a lot of the defensive things. Example, bunt coverages, first and thirds, rundowns, pickoffs. We will obviously do some offense out there, pregame BP type things. We've been doing a lot of that inside, a little bit on the field. We've had some rough weather the last couple of weeks, but it's normal stuff. The way I look at it, it's just an extension of the fall. It's not like it's our first practice. We're just picking it up, and we're not there with our arms right now as far as number of pitches that our pitchers can throw, but we're in good shape. We know we need to work on, and what we need to work on is figuring out how we're going to handle our pitchers and our rotation. So we have 3 weeks, before we open up, but in our mind, we have to have a couple of guys, that we feel like are going to start if we started in a couple of weeks, because we have to get them on track, so to speak. And so a lot of those guys that are going to start in 3 weeks will be, starting games this weekend and the next weekend, and then the third weekend of scrimmage. And after that, we're in game week. So.
Wondering about your team leadership. I think y'all were dropping team captains today, maybe. Can you talk?
Yeah, I think we've got three captains, and I think we selected those, I don't know, November, December. And have you already told them who our captains are?
Zach Gregory, Katie Wallace.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to, we had some pitchers in there, and we had a couple of guys really close as well. It's like I told our guys, I think we had 12 or 13 of our players get votes, and it wasn't like they just got one vote and they voted for themselves. It's which is good. And then we took the top 3 vote getters. If we would have had 2 guys run away with it, we would have just taken 2, but really I could have taken 4 or 5, because there were 2 more guys that, how many can you have, or how many do you have? But you don't have to have a C on your jersey to be a captain or be respected like that. And I think we've got 4 or 5 other guys that our team feels that way about. And, but Caden Wallace was one of them, and Zebulon Vermillion and Zach Gregory. And you think about Gregory's been here. This is his 4th year, hasn't played a whole lot, played more last year, but he's earned the respect of his teammates. And it's, it's a combination of a lot of things. It's work ethic, but it's also, how do you treat the players, and what do you do away from the field? It all goes into being selected to be a captain. So, yeah.
obviously Collins injured a little bit. How do you see that affecting the starting rotation? And how many different guys could you see factoring into that conversation?
Well, before I answer your question, is that microphone even working? I don't hear it echoing or do anything. I don't know if that's a waste of time or not.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, so it may not even be on. So I see there's about 5 or 6 guys that are going to battle to get on the mound as a starter. Obviously, we lost, Peyton Paulette, who we had penciled in to start, whether it was Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. He's still going to have to earn that spot. But we feel like Connor Nolan's the best he's ever been here. If he can pick up where he left off in the fall. Freshman Hagen Smith has done a tremendous job. He's one of the youngest guys on the team, maybe the youngest player on the team. I think he turned 18 in August, like August 19th. He turned 18 years old. And then he came out and pitched like he was 22. So it was really impressive. Jackson Wiggins developed the breaking ball and slider, curveball and slider. His changeup's gotten better. I think that, he's got something to prove and hopefully he'll do it. There's a couple other guys, there's a couple of freshmen that have a shot, but we have a lot of good arms. We just have to figure out how to use them.
And also, if you look at the bullpen, you have a lot of veterans out there that have kind of had their moments here and there, but, who are some guys you're thinking that could step up into like a more consistent role?
I see Mark Adamiak he's really improved. I think he's been up to 98 miles an hour, throw strikes, got a pretty good curveball. Shouldn't have a lot of time on the mound. Big kid. He's a guy that could help us. Zach Morris has changed his delivery, shortened his arm stroke, his stride, throwing the ball a lot more consistent. The shorter stride is making the arm slot shorter, gives you a chance to repeat your delivery. I feel like he's got a chance to help us a lot more. I mean, I'm looking at a list here because we have a lot of guys, and Evan Taylor's better. I haven't even mentioned Nick Griffin. I mentioned him yesterday when I spoke, but he's in his second year here, about 6'5" left-hander. He walked in the door with a torn elbow last year, had it fixed, missed all last year, and got better. His arm slot is better than it was before surgery. He's throwing 93, 94 miles an hour from the left side right now. And he's thrown live to hitters twice inside and looked great, 1 inning. So we'll see if we can build him up. I mean, this is a guy that out of high school, we saw him when we were recruiting him as a conference starter here in the future. So maybe he can be a wild card for us because his stuff is good, especially if he comes back healthy. And so far he looks real good. So I don't know. There's a lot of guys, that are in our program. I look at all these older kids. You look at, Elijah Tress been around for a while. Zebulon Vermillion's been around for a while. Cole Ramage, Evan Gray was really good 2 years ago. Last year didn't figure in as much. He's come back a lot better, and he's throwing the ball well. So these first 3 weekends of scrimmage is going to kind of tell us what to do at least that first weekend. And we need to get it all figured out before we open conference with Kentucky here in mid-March.
2020 season ends, players are home for 4 months. Come back, you're running all the new regulations and whatnot. You didn't really go through that this last off season. How much more prepared do you think that is?
Well, I made the comment, a year ago that was the best fall we ever had after COVID, losing the season in 20, coming back in fall of 20. It was almost like we were in the spring. Guys were focused and locked in. You could just tell they were excited to be out there. They missed it. They felt fortunate to be out there. And we got better. We thought we were going to have a good team. We didn't, who could have projected we were going to do what we did, win 50 games and win 3 championships and almost make it to Omaha, win every series. You can't project that. But this past fall, like you said, we were prepared because we got some guys back. And some of the guys we got back were hurt, like Jalen Battle didn't play short all fall, but we knew he's going to be our shortstop. Robert Moore, he's better. He kind of led the infield. We got a couple of good young freshmen in, and they followed, his lead. And, outfield wise, we have a lot of good hitters in the outfield. As far as a true center fielder, it's Braden Webb. I mean, Braden Webb's as good as any center fielder I've ever had. And you guys haven't seen him play like I have because he hasn't been in a lineup enough, but the guy can absolutely play outfield. But he's hurt, he's had some issues. I think he's got it together. I feel like that he's ready to have a good year. Now he has a little bit of a quad problem, and that happened late in fall, and it's still nagging him. So we're going to be real easy with him leading up to the season. We still have a lot of questions to answer, but I guess to answer your question, guys came back motivated. They want to get better. They want to win. They want to play pro ball, and that's what fall ball is all about, is make a little bit of a name for yourself, separate yourself from the pack a little bit, so to speak, on getting out there and maybe getting the first shot in the spring.
The first time in a while, you're starting practice without Casey Opitz back there. I'm just curious about Michael Turner and his repertoire with all the pitchers, how that's developed since he got here in the fall.
Well, between Michael and Dylan Leach, we feel good back there. Michael has had some issues with a hamstring for over a year now, and we've been working with him hard. We actually, he's from Ohio. In the summer after we got him signed, we got him set up with the Indians doctor, and everything went good all fall. Towards the end, he kind of hurt something, hurt a little bit. I think he's a little bit nervous always about it. You take that away, it's been pretty good. The pitchers like throwing to him. I don't think they have a problem throwing to Dylan either. So Michael's full package because he can really hit, and he can really throw, and he can really catch. I'm surprised that he's not playing professional baseball right now. And I don't know what went on, where he came from, but I'm just shocked that he's, not playing pro ball. We were very fortunate to get him here, and players, he seems to be one of our more popular guys. They can tell that, he's a leader, and he's going to be right in the middle of our lineup. But our catching situation with those two is good. Dylan Leach has made a lot of strides from last year. Last year, he was a freshman or a senior in high school, playing behind Casey, trying to learn, maybe a little overwhelmed. And then he comes back this year, and here we bring in another 23-year-old. And, all he's done is work. He didn't complain, ask a lot of questions. Why this, why that? You got to give him a lot of credit there. And he's gotten bigger, stronger, and he's better. So I see both of them catching.
I was gonna ask about Jalen. You mentioned him. How's he doing post surgery and then again?
Yeah, having those two back up the middle, it's the best double play combination that we've had here in 20 years, in my opinion. So we're going to have him back for the second year in a row. Jalen didn't take a ground ball until December. He didn't need to because he can field. We just needed to get him healthy. He got a lot stronger on his lower half through all the rehab. Didn't do anything with the upper body for the most part. But as far as offensively, what I've seen from him, he's a lot better. And we were disappointed that we didn't get to coach him a whole lot in fall, because we felt like, man, if he can take one more step with the bat, he's going to be a force, because he was one of our better hitters down the stretch. The first half of the season, not so much, here and there. Big home run against Louisiana Tech that, won us that game in that extra inning game, but some big hits, but not a lot of hits. Different player now, just watching, missing it. Sometimes watching's good in our game. It's like sometimes when guys are in slumps or not playing well, I'll tell them, hey, I'm not upset with you, but you're not going to play today. I want you to just sit over here with me and just slow the game down. And they take a day off and they come back and they're a lot better. With Jalen, I think he really appreciates the fact that he was injured and he gets to play. He still gets to play. I think from what we've seen, his offense is so much better. So it'll be fun watching it.
And one more, we talk sometimes, you have a pulse of like, hey, we're going to be a home run hitting team, we got a lot of power. And this time, you might not have that home run power, but we're able to, manufacture runs. Do you have a pulse on where that offense is right now?
Yeah, I think that we're going to hit home runs, no doubt. We got most of the power guys back from last year, and we added a few. I mean, we have 3 transfer hitters, and they all hit the ball a long way. I mean, they're all middle of the order guys. There's 3 of them. I don't even know if I can get them all in the lineup at the same time. But I think that we will hit, and I think because we've worked on it so hard and talked about it so much that we should walk more. And, with age, you usually learn the strike zone better and you lay off borderline pitches, early in the count. And with 2 strikes, you fight off more pitches. And, we're going to strike out some, but everybody does. Our league, the pitching in our league, the velocities in our league, the stuff in our league is incredible. If you look at it, we look at a lot of data, basically. The average fastball in the SEC over the last few years is like not even a mile an hour less than what the average fastball is in the big leagues. Because the average fastball in the big league, maybe it's 93.3 and SEC's 92.5. I mean, you talk to Coach Hobbs, he'll tell you all about it, okay? But it's amazing. And that's what we deal with in our league. And you go to other leagues and their average fastball is 89.7, 90.2. It's a big difference when you hit it, believe me. So we're going to be every bit as electric as we've been the last couple of years offensively.
Dave, what do you think the new facility is going to help the program the most going forward?
Well, yeah, you said the most at the end, so that makes it a little tougher. I'll just say with the development of our players, if you're talking about the most, I mean, you got to walk through it today and you see how nice it is and it all kind of flows once you learn the building. It's like the weight room's right in the middle, built around that with training room and, the indoor downstairs with the technology. It makes it easier than running all over the place. Guys, I mean, we pretty much have to kick them out of here at night. They just hang out, which is awesome. That's what we want. On weekends, they're up here when it's off season and, it's just a development. It just makes it a lot easier having these type of facilities and, with our nutrition center, and they do a great job here. They're in there working and stocking and making sure the guys have everything. And, you got to give players, you can coach guys up, but you got to have good players. And this building's going to help us get more players.
It's always a loaded question, but you have to take the part of the facility.
That's a tough question. Like you say, I don't know if I have a favorite part. I can tell you this, just about every day I walk in and I just kind of shake my head thinking, wow, this is amazing. And how far has college baseball come in the 20 years I've been here? I've been coaching college baseball mid-30s, 35 years now, plus somewhere in there. I mean, you just look at the game as a whole. The players are bigger, stronger, better. They hit the ball farther, they throw the ball harder, they're faster. The facilities across the country are unbelievable compared to what they used to be even 15 years ago. The commitment from administrations all over the country are amazing, even at some of the mid-majors, building some really nice facilities. Fans are involved. You got TV coverage, media coverage. I mean, even this event right here, if you can call it an event, we'll just call it a quick meeting. 20 years ago, there would have been 3 people in here. Bob would have been one of them. But, it's this facility as a whole, everything, and our indoor across the street. I mean, it's all part of it. It's amazing. And there's more universities that are looking around and then they're watching TV and they're seeing our crowds and, what our league's been doing, and their fans are jumping in and helping out with some support and finances. And I don't think it's going to go away.
I don't know earlier. What about him is better so far?
Well, if you just talk about Connor physically first, he's in really good shape and he's healthy. Last year he hurt himself and didn't go well. When we got back, it didn't go well. Never really 100%. He stayed here all summer. Didn't go out and pitch and got his body in incredible shape. Came out in the fall, and so what has he done on the mound? He's thrown the ball harder. He's throwing it just as many strikes. A lot of times if you pitch at 90 and you're trying to throw 92, 93, you're not going to throw the ball where you want it. Well, now he's throwing the ball 92, 93, 91. Last year, probably 88 to 91, maybe a little more here and there, but it just seems easy for him to throw 91, 92 with sink, keeping the ball down. Secondary stuff is really good. But he's kind of got a power sink and fastball. And I like when Connor pitches because he's not trying to strike everybody out. He's going to get a ground ball to third or short or whatever. We can field it and maybe he can stay in the game longer. We can move the game along a little bit. Not a lot of full counts. And he's just, to me, just better all the way around, everything.
You talk quite a bit about, needing throughout your rotation, things like that, but what about the field? Are there any specific positions that you're still looking at as like unsettled going into the season so far?
Well, I don't know exactly who's going to start in the outfield every day yet, because there are 4 or 5, maybe 6 really good options. Somebody can DH, but you only have one of those. So, whenever you you've got to have an athlete in center field. And so one of our best athletes was Caden Wallace. So we were working him out in center right when he got back, and he knew that. We talked to him about it. Even though in summer ball he played right field, but he took a lot of fly balls in center. I think they had a really good center fielder out of Arizona State. I went and watched him play out in the Cape. But he was doing a great job out there. But we just started looking at it, put him in at third for a couple of games, let him work out with the infield a little bit. He was our best third baseman. And that's what he was when we recruited him. And we just said, okay, we're going to go with him there. Let him play third. Webb had an incredible fall until he got hurt. I mean, he led our team in about everything. I'm talking home runs, batting average, stolen bases, you name it. And then he got that hamstring or that quad issue late, right before our red-white series. And then it is what it is. But, that's the position center fielder. We have to have a center fielder. Webb's our answer from a defensive standpoint for sure. Even if he doesn't get off to a good start offensively, that's okay. It's kind of like having a shortstop. If he doesn't hit a whole lot, that's okay. Just field everything and make all the plays. But if he's injured, then we may not lose as much offense at all, but we may lose a little defense. So that's probably really my main concern in the field defensively.
We're done to get better. When it started with the critical slump last year, what did he do? And then
Yep.
you mentioned he's the best center fielder you've ever had. Kennedy and Eisner and Fletcher and Brenton. That's pretty.
He's right there with all those guys. We talk about center fielders. If you're just talking about running and catching the ball and reading the ball off the bat, there's never been anybody better than Fletcher. Because Fletcher he had corner outfield speed, but his instincts were off the charts. I mean, he saw the pitch coming in and he knew pretty much which way to start moving before the hitter swung. And he would start leaning that way. It was incredible. Just was incredible there, but guys like Eibner with really good speed and tremendous arms, and Franklin, played left as a freshman, moves over there, and then we don't skip a beat there. And had Craig Gentry out there for a while, a long time ago. It was incredible. And we've had a couple other guys out there that were amazing. I think if you're going to win in this league, you better be able to catch it in the outfield. So we've got a bunch of guys that can hit, but we've got to play good defense out there. And, our corner guys they're good corner guys. If you put one of them in center, he's going to be an average center fielder that hits. We've even had Zach Gregory out there a little bit. He runs well, but he's still fairly new in the outfield. And he's one of the most improved players on the team as well. So I don't know. What was the other part of the question?
Look for it done to get better.
Well, let's go back to last year. We opened up in Texas, and I don't know, does anybody remember where he hit in our order? Game 1, he had cleanup. So we've seen this. If you look at his numbers from junior college, they were incredible. We get him here, and we're thinking, man, what a great athlete. One of the first practices of the year of his first year here, he dives for a ball, makes an incredible catch on left field, and hurts his ribs. Misses most of the fall. So he's had some injuries, and here we go again a little bit. So, I mean, he hasn't really done a whole lot to make himself better. He was good. He was already good. It's just a matter of getting on the field. So what do we do to get him off to a better start? Maybe we hit him down the order a little bit. Just let him climb the ladder, let him stay down there and hit. So I'll be honest with you. We were just in their meeting talking about our lineup. Maybe the first couple of guys in the order, where you want to hit them, but we got a couple 3, 3, and 4 type hitters, 5-hole hitters, and we got a bunch of guys. There's going to be guys. I mean, if Jalen Battles is hitting in the 8 or 9 hole, I thought Jalen coming back this year at 5th or 6th, and right now he may be hitting 8th or 9th, just because he's a better hitter than that. Carson Shaddy hit 9-hole a few years ago and hit about 390 all year, and everyone's telling me I need to move him up. And I told him I talked to him about moving up, and he said, I want to stay there. And he killed it down there. Finally, late in the season, we moved him up to about 5th because we had to. But we're going to have a deep lineup, and as an opposing pitcher, you're going to have to fight us because we're going to fight you and try to get your pitch count up and get in that bullpen.
You feel better from first base dugout than if you've been in enough kind of.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in it before. I don't think it's all about the same, really. You know, our dugout's going to be a little colder the first half of the season, obviously. That dugout's actually bigger. It's longer. I don't know what happened when they built the stadium. We noticed that when we first got here, it's longer and the roof is a little lower. Watch out when you get excited. You might hit your head if you're 6'5". So I don't know if it's settled over there or what happened, but it's you know, it's going to be a good setup. I think you guys walked through it. We got new flooring put in it, a lot better, and we're going to cut out part of the bench, put a bat rack in there, and it's supposed to be done hopefully shortly. The area where the coaches hang out is a lot bigger. If you look at the two, it's probably 5, 6, 7 feet bigger. Makes it better for us. They'll have a straight path from the bat rack right up and out. We can kind of hang in our area. It's very comfortable. It's just a little cooler. Second half of the season, it'll be better. But it's all the same to us. We're in the first base dugout on the road all the time.
Everybody sees the park and it's got number one ranking and all these things. But you guys built the Ballard Center. Obviously, we thought there was more that we done in this building as a reflection of that. I mean, at this point, though, now that we've got the Ballard Center, is this as good as it gets? Is there anything to do to improve?
I think probably the only thing that you could really improve are things like, as far as for a baseball team, would be maybe the surface of your field. You know, because we're probably due for that. You know, a lot of times fields really settle and they get a little bit wavy in the outfield. I think we replaced the infield 5 or 6 years ago. We actually have we have 2 different Bermuda grasses on our field. When they replaced the infield a few years ago, there was a new fancier, better Bermuda grass, and we put that in the infield and all the way around the back. And certain times of the year, you can see it. The outfield has a little thicker blade. It needs to probably all be redone in the future. Things like that. But really, probably more than anything, we have what we need to get where we're at. I mean, there's always going to be something technology wise that will improve your scouting of other teams or whatever, and we try to stay up with that. But I think probably what we're going to need, honestly, and Frank Burles thought I was crazy when I said that in the summer of 2002, we're going to need more seats here. You know, there's people that are not happy that didn't get season tickets, and I don't blame them. And there's groups of people that want those skyboxes or suites, whatever you want to call them. And they're probably maybe the most popular suites on campus because we play a lot of games. You get to talk between innings, and you know, it is what it is. It's their space to do it. It just takes money. And we just spent a lot of money, and there's other facilities on campus that need some things done. And I think for something like that to happen, it would probably really take a group of people to come in and say, hey, here's what we want to do with this money. Because if not, you know, it's probably somebody else's turn on campus to get something done. And softball's been doing a great job. And, you know, I feel like that Courtney and them, they deserve whatever they need, obviously. And you could go on and on. So we're very happy with where we're at. I would say what's going to happen next really will be finding a way to maybe put more people in here, because there's teams in our league. I think we can get 11,000 plus in here supposedly, but we could put certain weekends when you play LSU and Ole Miss and regional, super regionals, we could get 15, 16, 17 in here. I believe that, you know, and I mean, I felt bad for people this year when I heard what some of the tickets were going for. That's not right, you know, and it wasn't us charging it. It's whoever got their hands on the tickets. And I guess it's a free world and do what you want. But, you know, when you're hearing that somebody's paying $1,500 to watch a college baseball game, it's a little crazy. I might pay $1,500 to go to the Super Bowl if the Chiefs are in it, but other than that, I'm not doing it. So, but I think they're going to have to expand it, take it around the left field, go over the top. You got to keep the area out there for the students in the grass, but maybe they can do something right right, too, as well, just some more, I think. A lot of, like, I guess what I was getting to, there's Mississippi State and Ole Miss, and they get 13,000-14,000 in their place. And I don't think those places are bigger than Northwest Arkansas. So if you put a good team on the field, they'll show up. I'm fine. We're good.
First base, what's it look like there?
It looks like just a little different angle.
No, I meant the guy. The first base.
Oh, my first base. I thought you were talking about that dugout again. I'm like, come on, let's move on from the dugout. Oh, my first baseman. Maybe it's the mask, man. I can't hear anymore. What are you talking? Okay, so first baseman, that's a great question, Bob. But right now, Peyton Stovall will be our first baseman. He's second baseman and shortstop. In high school, he played second base until his senior year because they had a really good shortstop. His senior year, he played short. I saw him play short in summer baseball. We played him at third this past fall. Didn't like it a whole lot. I would say it didn't go real good for him at first, but all he did was hit and put him at first, and he loved it. He likes it over there, and he's good over there. Yeah, he's right at 6 foot tall, so he's not, as big as maybe some of the first basemen, but when you throw it in the dirt, he's going to pick it. He's going to play second base here in the future. If we still work him at second, but for this year's team, with Robert being at second base, that's not happening. So Peyton's a good teammate, good kid, works hard, and he'll be our first baseman. Slavens has been playing right field. He had an arm issue all fall. It's still bothering him a little bit. He's back playing a little first base, probably more than anything, just because his arm had been bothering him, and now it's not, and now he's thinking, hey, maybe he doesn't want a DH, because that's what happens a lot of times when your arm's bothering you. But right now, Peyton Stovall is our first baseman, and I see him playing a lot.
Good. All right, I'll do it.
Okay.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, guys. See you.